Belonging to the LGBT community has always been difficult. From a young age, when the individual realizes that he or she is different from the majority, normal things start to feel complicated. To begin with, within family circles, most parents want and expect their children to marry someone of the opposite sex and provide grandchildren. A lot of the time when they find out their child is gay, a war erupts at home, and in many cases, kids begin to feel isolated, or in more extreme cases, they're even kicked out. Even in film and TV, it wasn't until the late 1990s that LGBT characters started to become more mainstream and find acceptance from audiences. From the rigid, repressive 50s, when you had to be aware of the signs to read and realize there was a homosexual character in a film, such as John Plato Crawford in Rebel Without a Cause, to the more recent Jack Harkness in Doctor Who, an openly gay character who became a role model for young LGBT people in the UK, we've come a long way. I'm Mike with List 25, and in today's video, we remember 25 most influential fictional LGBT characters in pop culture history.
25.
Diane Kinney, Queer as Folk. Love him or hate him, everyone had an opinion about Queer as Folk's Diane Kinney. Sure, he started out as an arrogant sex machine, but he ended the run of the show as, well, a slightly more complicated arrogant sex machine that needs love just like the rest of us.
24.
Lafayette Reynolds, True Blood. Lafayette is a flamboyant, characteristic gay man. Although partaking in very illegal activities, he's a good guy at heart and is careful not to harm his customers. He takes care of his loved ones, no matter what strange problems they have. He might be a little too suspicious because he's gone through a lot in his life, but he's the kind of friend you've always wanted.
23.
Scotty, Brothers and Sisters. Scotty Wandell is a gay man who grew up in Oxford, Mississippi until he moved to New York and then later to California to start an independent life because his parents, Wally and Bertha, didn't accept him for being gay. As stated in the episode Prior Commitments, his parents never used the word gay until he told them he was.
22.
Emily Fields, Pretty Little Liars. Emily Fields is one of the main characters in Pretty Little Liars on ABC Family. Despite trying hard to hide her sexuality, if you're a fan of the show, then you know she's attracted to other girls exclusively. And she's an expert in falling in love as hard as it gets.
21.
Erin and Eric, The Walking Dead. Erin is a main character and survivor of the outbreak in AMC's The Walking Dead. He's also openly gay and was abused by his mother as a child in that he was forced to go through corrective therapy, such as eating foods he didn't like to make him more manly. While working in the NGO, he met Eric Raleigh, and the rest is pop culture history.
20.
Agador, The Birdcage. Do you remember the flamboyant Guatemalan housekeeper with the catchy name Agador in The Birdcage? How could you not, right? For this historical role, which Hank Azaria considers his big break, he was nominated for the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role, and critically branded the most hilarious performance in the film by Allison McCord of the Austin Chronicle, while the Empire wrote that he stole the show.
19.
Jack McPhee, Dawsons Creek. Jack McPhee is a character from the WB drama Dawsons Creek, portrayed by Kerr Smith. Initially introduced in the series' second season, he dated girl next door Joey Potter before discovering his sexuality. Jack later became openly gay and was lucky to have one of the most awesome fathers who accepted his sexuality, as every father who loves and respects his child should do.
18.
Jack McFarland, Will and Grace. Jack McFarland is a character on the American sitcom Will and Grace, played by Sean Hayes. A campy gay man, Jack has always had a passion for acting and the theater, although his friends, among others, doubt his abilities in this area. He never gets discouraged, though, and changes careers a lot. From cater, waiter, Banana Republic, and Barney's New York sales clerk and acting teacher to student nurse, surfer, and backup dancer for J-Lo and Janet Jackson. An epic character by any measure, indeed. He's also the voice. Fun fact for you, Tristan, you don't have to put this. He also does voices Pete in Tangled, the animated series.
17.
Catherine Tramell, Basic Instinct. Catherine Tramell is the hidden true antagonist of the Basic Instinct movies. She's portrayed by Sharon Stone, and other than being a psycho serial killer, she is also an openly bisexual woman who had many, short-lived, empty affairs with people of both sexes, which ended when she ended them.
16.
Maya Avant, The Bold and the Beautiful. Maya Avant is a character on The Bold and the Beautiful, who has been portrayed by the beautiful Carla Mosley since January 2013. Despite most fans of soap operas being used to storylines they never saw coming, this one really shocked them. For 2 years, fans had known Maya Avant as a supermodel and fashion industry executive, but a few months ago, her sister confronted her about her past, dramatically demanding answers after her birth certificate listed her name as a boy named Myron. Yep, you guessed right. Gorgeous Maya was born a boy. A few months ago at the time of this writing. Just want to throw that in there.
15.
Willow Rosenberg, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Willow Rosenberg is a character created for the fantasy TV series Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was portrayed throughout the series by Allison Hannigan and stood out as a positive portrayal of a Jewish woman. And at the height of her popularity, she fell in love with another woman, a witch named Tara McClay. They became one of the first lesbian couples on US television and one of the most positive relationships in the series.
14.
Kurt Hummel, Glee. Fans of the super successful show are aware that Kurt Hummel was the first openly gay character introduced in the series. In the beginning, Kurt is in the closet until he comes out to Mercedes Jones and eventually to his father Bert. He harbors a crush on Finn Hudson and tries to pursue him, despite Finn being straight. He even goes so far as to set his father up with Finn's mother, Carol, just so he could be closer to him, which backfires when Finn uses a homophobic slur against him during an outburst.
13.
Matt Fielding, Melrose Place. Matt Fielding is a character in the American TV series Melrose Place, portrayed by Doug Savant. Matt was an openly gay man working as a social worker in LA. In contrast to the promiscuous sexual behavior and relationship issues that drove the stories of Melrose straight characters, Matt's storylines tended to be about subjects like gay bashing and workplace discrimination. Matt occasionally became romantically involved with another man, but was never shown in any sexual situations.
12.
Will Truman, Will and Grace. Will Truman is another character on the American sitcom Will and Grace, portrayed by Eric McCormick. He's a homosexual lawyer who lives on the Upper West Side of New York City with his best friend, Grace Adler. The series also portrays his relationship with the two other main characters, Karen Walker and Jack McFarland.
11.
Mitchell Pritchett, Modern Family. If you're the fan of the show Modern Family, then you definitely know Mitchell is the exact opposite of his boyfriend Cameron, which usually causes disagreements. Mitchell is also known for suffering from a strange phobia named ornithophobia, which is the fear of birds. He's also famous for cooking better chicken than Gordon Ramsay, which he then feeds to the people he loves.
10.
Cameron Tucker, Modern Family. Cameron has been Mitchell's life partner for almost 9 years. The two men are opposites in personality because of their contrasting upbringings. Cameron grew up on a farm, was good in athletics, and had to support a family, and isn't afraid to be flamboyant, which contrasts greatly with Mitchell's conservative contemporary childhood. However, they seem to be perfect for each other. And you know what? That's good enough for us.
9.
Ellen Morgan, Ellen. Ellen Morgan is the lead character in the TV series Ellen, played by Ellen DeGeneres, and that is a lot of times I've said the name Ellen. Although neither Ellen Morgan nor Ellen DeGeneres are very masculine, this was a hint as to both the character and actress's sexuality long before anyone imagined either could possibly be gay.
8.
Leon, Dog Day Afternoon. Back in the mid-1970s, when society wasn't as open-minded and progressive as it is today, The great Chris Sarandon was nominated for an Oscar in a supporting role for his portrayal of Leon, an openly gay character in the epic Dog Day Afternoon, starring Al Pacino in the lead role.
7.
Andrew Beckett, Philadelphia. The incredible performance of Tom Hanks as Andrew Beckett isn't just another great gay character in pop culture, but a role that literally changed Hollywood. Philadelphia was probably the first mainstream film to openly acknowledge HIV/AIDS, homosexuality, and homophobia. Hanks won the Academy Award for Best Actor, which was the first time an actor won an Oscar for portraying an openly gay man.
6.
Loki, Marvel Universe. In Norse mythology, Loki is a shape-shifting god who enjoys the occasional turn as a woman. The genderbender doesn't discriminate. Sometimes he's even a female animal. So, when comic book writer Alan Ewing wrote on Tumblr that the character would be bisexual, both in comics and films, and that he would shift between genders, it wasn't a huge surprise.
5.
Ennis Del Mar and Jack Twist, Brokeback Mountain. Ennis and Jack go together. And no matter how hard we tried to separate them into two different entries, we just couldn't do it. In what might be the greatest, and possibly saddest, gay romance in film history, Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal realistically portray their characters, which convinced even some of the most closed-minded people that homosexuals fall in love too. In addition, the story of the forbidden and secretive relationship between the two cowboys made Ang Lee the first Asian to win the Academy Award for Best Director.
4.
Jack Harkness, Doctor Who. Captain Jack Harkness is a character played by John Barrowman in Doctor Who and its spin-off Torchwood. Jack became the first openly non-heterosexual character in the history of Doctor Who. The popularity of the character among multiple audiences directly influenced the development of its spin-off. The character became a figure in the British public consciousness, rapidly gaining fame for John Barrowman. As an ongoing depiction of bisexuality in mainstream British television, the character became a role model for young gay and pansexual people in the UK.
3.
John Plato Crawford, Rebel Without a Cause. In this American classic that is most remembered for best presenting the talent of the young, charismatic legend James Dean, there's an emotionally disturbed teenager named John Plato Crawford, who happens to be gay. Remember now, we're talking about a film from the mid-1950s, so this fact wasn't in your face. But if you watch closely and pay attention, you'll certainly understand that Plato was, well, in love with James Dean's character. Just follow Minio's eyes and the mirror on his locker with the photo of Alan Ladd. They're like giant hairpins dropping.
2.
Xena, Warrior Princess. Xena first appeared in the late 90s television series Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, before going on to star in Xena Warrior Princess and the subsequent comic book of the same name. Xena has enjoyed a particular cult status in the lesbian community. Some of the lesbian fanbase see Xena and Gabrielle as a couple and have embraced them as role models and lesbian icons. For that matter, a group called the Marching Xenas has participated in many pride parades.
1.
Professor Albus Dumbledore, the Harry Potter books and films. Professor Albus Dumbledore is a character in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. For most of the series, he's the headmaster of the wizarding school Hogwarts, and something that many fans ignore is that he's gay. On October 19th, 2007, Rowling was asked by a young fan whether Dumbledore finds true love, and she said that she has always thought of Dumbledore as being gay, and that he had fallen in love with Gellert Grindelwald, which was Dumbledore's great tragedy. So, who's your favorite LGBT character in pop culture? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answer to us at List25, or to me personally at Michael B. Estrin. Also, I've joined Cameo, so if you'd like a personal shout out for you or a loved one, check out all of our social media links in the description below. And if you like this video, check out the ones in this playlist here. Sorry, it's probably going to be over here now.